I guess I am live. Okay, good. Welcome everyone to the third installment of my office hours series. I'm gonna be once again continuing the development of Shiny Fitness of the little application. Let me look at my Git log because I don't remember quite how we ended up. So we ended up establishing the connection to the database. Let me just get into my global.r. Let me open my file viewer and let me open up my art console. Good. So last time, what I did is I established connection to the database. Wait, let me sudo systemctl start Postgres. There you go. Good. Now I can connect. So if I'm not wrong, leave list tables in the connection. I also created some tables to start working out with, right? If I go back to DB diagram, let me go to the app. Yep, this is right where I left off. So I created a users table, an exercises table, a workouts table, and a past workouts table, right? For my exercises, I'm gonna have the JSON of the exercises that I currently have stored right here. I'm gonna have my workouts, I'm gonna have my past workouts, etc. I could perhaps change, let me just change this to text so that it's compatible with Postgres, integer, text. Okay, this all should work, right? So for the workouts, I might want to save a timestamp, right? It's gonna be a timestamp. It's like a date, and it's gonna be just a date, right? Because I want to know like what the workouts were at a certain date. For my past workouts, workout date, this is fine. And for my exercises, your workouts would be dependent on the exercises, right? So I think this workouts date is fine. I don't think something I might not even need a. Okay, this is. No, I don't think I would need a date here. This is, I think, exactly how I left it. If I take a look at my users, I think I did add myself, right? But I have not added anything to workouts, right? No, nor past workouts, right? I haven't added any information. Sorry. No, I have not. Okay, good. So I have here my first user. This would be me, right? I have a UID, my username, my age, my weight, and my unit. And what I did here, I don't know if it's like it's not in my server, right? Yeah, so here, whenever I authorize into the application, I check if the UID of the user, in this case, it's just one because I haven't implemented any authentication yet. Wait, let me check my stream health. Okay, everything's good, right? I create a table. I look up that user. If the user does not exist, I add the information to the table, right? I append it. And that's it. I got my information about my user. So for now, well, username is default. I think this is all good. And we tested out that it worked, and this is the information that I have right here, right? UID, username, age, weight, unit, etc. So I want the user to be able to mutate this data. And perhaps maybe age, weight, and unit. Unit I think is fine here. But age and weight are bound to change, right? And so I want the user to be able to change those values and see those values, how they were in the past. So let's actually do that. So here I would have to add text again so that I don't get into any conflict. Did remember that. So I would need a user info table, and this would be a table as you, and here I would have my UID. So that's again like pretty important. And here I would have the age, which would be the integer, and I would have my weight, right? As an integer as well, because I don't want I want the user to be able to track their weight. Cool. So these two I can get out from here. Let me save this so that I can have it in the future. And I'm gonna go into PostgreSQL. Let me make this a little bigger. You guys can see. So let me sudo. I'm going to my Postgres PSQL Shiny Fitness. I don't remember how I called the database. Let me just here. Let me sp.r environment. Shiny Fitness, yeah. Shiny Fitness. Slash DP. Yeah, so I'm just gonna drop table users. I'm gonna go ahead and create these two new tables. So here, I can export this to PostgreSQL. Yeah, let me just save here. Let me save it at my home directory, right? I don't know why it opens in LibreOffice, but here I can create a table, user info. And let me just create these two new tables. There you go. I can close this right now. So now here, I don't want to enter my age nor my weight. I just want to enter the user. And I'm going to keep the username as default, and this should be fine. So let me save this and let me run the app. I'm going to set it to port 8080, launch browser false. So let me open localhost 8080. Let me inspect the element. Let me set it to a phone. Let's make this a little bit bigger. 150, no, too big. 125, good. So now, if I log in, it disconnected myself. Permission denied for, oh yeah, I need to, once again, get into sudo, Postgres, put in my password, PSQL. I need to give user, I always forget, give user permissions to all tables in Postgres. I always forget how to do that. Grant all privileges on all tables, yeah. Grant all privileges. Privileges on all tables in schema undated. On the database. Grant all privileges on database. On database, Shiny Fitness to Shiny Fitness, which is also the user. There you go. If I run this again, and here, if I log in, still disconnected. Why does it say permission denied if I gave the user permissions? So I'd have to use on all tables, right? On all tables and database, shiny fitness. I recall doing this exact process. PSQL shiny fitness. Yeah, it doesn't save the so I just have to do this too. Shiny fitness. Yeah, this. So do I need to put the schema name? But the schema name is just public. Okay. If I reload right here and log in, okay, now it works, right? And if I do now table users, I should have my, there you go. Cool. I just had to specify the schema. Great. So, continuing with the process. Sorry for wasting so much time. I have my user authenticated, quote unquote. So now I need to be able to update the user's exercises on the exercises table, right, with the UID, and be able to update the user info, right? So let's do that. In this case, I would have to look up with dvplier or with just dplier. Update table with dplier, and I don't think that's exactly possible. Rows update. It's like update, but how would you do the where, right? Update XY, a pair of data frames or data frame extension X must have the same columns as by an unnamed character vector giving the key columns. Okay, so if I understand correctly, if I want to update this user, for example, if I want to change my username, I have to update, and I would have to use rows update, right? Rows update. X would be table con users, right? That's the table I want to update. Y would be a data frame, where UID is equal to 1. Username, let me move my camera somewhere else. There you go. Username would be equal, let's say, to Andres. And my unit I want to keep as kilograms. And my connection, it's con would be equal to con. And I would need to copy, since this is not in the same origin. Did you misspecify an argument? Components ... were not used. Other parameters passed on to methods. No, I don't need that. Yeah, so I have my copy equals true. So I don't need to specify a connection. Oops. Table lazy, no applicable to apply to an object class. PQL, table PQL. So how would you? Are there any examples of update data into? But that would, I mean, this would have to work. I'm updating the table users with this new data frame, and I'm updating it. I know it's a table lazy, but how would you go about updating that, right? Because it's a table. It's a table lazy. If anyone can. Data frame attributes are taken from X invisibly. So it seems like it has to be just a data frame, but let's see with DB plier. If I take a look at the reference, there's no update. Yeah, no, you can't update directly with. So we're gonna have to write out the queries directly. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna open up my terminal right here. Let me this control. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Cool. So right here, I'm gonna create a directory. I'm gonna call this R, and I'm gonna open up a new file in the R directory. I want to create a function, and I'm gonna call this query.r. Right? I want to start writing my queries. So update user and user info, right? Info, it's going to be a function. So what info does the user have, right? It has age and weight. So right here I'm going to enter age and I'm going to enter weight as parameters. Cool. So by default, age, I'm gonna give them both NA. And if I'm gonna worry about if statements there later. So first I'm going to define my query. This is gonna be a SQL statement. This is gonna be, if I'm not wrong, SQL update, or it would be SQL set Postgres. Yeah, it's with update and set, right? So I'm gonna update the table, right? Set column and where. So if I do it directly here in Postgres, if I'm gonna select from users, well, I'm gonna do it with the users table because I don't have any user info yet. So I have here my let's update my username. So I have to do update table. I would have to update users, right? Set, and I'm going to set username equal to address where UID is equal to 1. We might need to add explicit method types. No, but this should be fine. Set column equal, and that's the condition where UID is equal to 1. This should be working. Where city is equal to San Francisco, right? This is exactly what I'm doing. Set. Yep, I don't get why it's giving me an error. UID is a column. I don't know what mistakes I'm making. User set username, right? This is a column where UID is equal to 1. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea. No operator matches the giving name and argument types. It's because 1 is text, right? It's not a... There you go. So I select from users. No, my username is gonna be... That's... Yeah, that's... I forgot UID was not an integer. Cool. So if I want to update my user info, first I need to check something. So user data, I need to bring in my user data first. So my user data is going to be table, and well, here I would have to pass on my connection, right, as an argument. So I would have to pass on my connection. This would be user info. And I would also have to pass on the UID. So user info, right? And here I would have to pass on a filter where UID is equal to UID. And I would have to collect. So this would be my user data, right? So if there's no user data, right? If there's no rows, so if n row user data is equal to 0, for now I'm just gonna put print no data, right? So let's test out this function. Let me just run it right here. Unexpected. There you go. So if I run update user info, UID is equal to 1 and con is equal to con. No data, right? Because I have not registered any data. So I don't actually want it to print no data. I want it to write some default, some data, right? So I'm gonna create user data, right? I don't care about this user data anymore. I'm not gonna use it. Would be a data frame where UID would be equal to 1. Well, we're not to 1 to the UID. The age would be equal to the age parameter that's passed on, and weight would be equal to the weight parameter that's being passed on. This should be fine. And then I'm gonna dv write table, pass on the connection, con is equal to con, the name of is user info, the data I want to pass on is user data, and append is equal to true. I want to append this data, right? So if I run this function now and I do update user info, my age is 19, my weight is about 81 kilograms, and My UID is equal to 1, and my connection would be my connection. If I select from user info, everything right here, there you go. UID 1 has age 19 and a weight of 81 kilograms. Cool. Cool. That's perfect. Cool. So now if I wanted to change my weight, let's say now I'm 82 kilograms. Did it update? Oh yeah, I haven't. This is only if it doesn't have it, right? So in the case that there actually is some user data, I need to do the following checks. So my weight. So wait, if este envío pa, deberías en la cámara, ya va. Okay, so if wait, I got distracted. Okay, there you go. Okay, so if the parameter weight, well, let's start with age, that is passed on is NA, and this, let's say I have here return 0, right? So if it is NA, it's gonna go age is gonna be equal to user data age, right? And I'm gonna do the same for weight. So if you wait, let me just wait, user data weight. So if the user doesn't pass in a weight to update, I wanted to use the weight that's already there and the age that's already there. So then I'm going to do this exact same process, right? Age and UID, so I want to do this exact same thing. There you go. Let me just, there you go. So let me run this. So I want to update user info, my age, let's say, no, well, I'm going to keep my age the same, so I'm not going to pass in the age parameter. I want to update my weight to 82. My con is going to be my con. My UID is going to be 1. There you go. And if I look at it now, it added another row, right? Which is not what we want. So we're going to have to write down the query instead of write table. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to have to do is write a query. So first I'm going to check. I'm going to do a little check. Okay, since it's passed on right here, that's fine. And this should be SQL safe. So that's cool. So there's not going to be any SQL injection in this case, which is a little bit of security that is important. So what I can do now is I can write a query. And what I'm going to do is do update user info, right as we did right here. Update user info, and I'm gonna set so SQL I absolutely forgot. I barely used that function. Here for no, it's not SQL translation. It's a little built-in simulate access database and schema build SQL. I don't remember if it was this one. It allows me to insert. Let's just build the SQL. It was a function that allowed me to pass in pass in data into my SQL query. But I absolutely forgot. It's not even, it's some here in SQL generation. Window order, window frame, translate SQL. No, this maybe it's just SQL. Pass arguments to SQL query in R. SQL query, right? But here, what it does, it pastes, and I don't want to use paste. I remember there's another function that allows me to do exactly that. But I don't quite remember. Yeah, so this is exactly what I want to prevent. So here this is paste, but I don't want to use paste. But there's I remember exactly a function that allows me to. So here I have query, right? With the question mark. There it is. SQL execute. R. Okay. So with SQL prepare, apparently it doesn't exist. But I quite remember it's with this question mark, right? And you pass in where column equals to that question mark, column 1 equals to this, and column div equals to that. The data would be a data frame, column 1, column 2. Okay, so I'm gonna do it exactly like that. So I would have to set age equal to question mark and weight equal to question mark, where UID is equal to question mark. I'm gonna use the normal just for this to not show me an error message. So now first I would definitely have to have UID equal to as character UID, so that it translates into a string, not into an integer. And now I can do SQL the SQL execute is from RODVC. But I remember there was a DVI SQL query. DVI R. Send query. SQL quoting, SQL interpolate. Each occurrence of a standalone is replaced with a value, right? So SQL from name equals Hadley. Oh, okay, so here I can put in age, weight, and UID. So now if I do SQL interpolate, I pass in, what do I need to pass in? Do I need to pass in a connection? Yep. So my connection equals connection. I need to pass in my query, my SQL. So SQL would equal to query. And now I need to pass in age equals to age, weight equals to weight, and UID is equal to UID. Perfect. And let me just print this. Let me assign this into a variable. Let's call this query interp, just to give it a name. Let me organize this a little bit. Good. Let me print this query interp. Let's test out the function. So let's update user info. I just want to update my weight to 82. My connection is going to be equal to my connection. My UID will equal to 1. DB code literal values must be a length 1. Result is of length 2. How come? Age, weight, query. This should be fine, right? Okay, so this does not want to do my interpolation correctly. Name Hadley, right? Age, weight, UID. I absolutely don't see what the problem with this. There's literally just a string. If you're implementing SQL backend for non-ANSI quoting rules, variables must start with a question mark, can't be any valid R identifier. Yeah, this makes absolutely, like, I don't get why this wouldn't work. If I don't set it as a character, does it work? I don't pass in my age. Oh, it's because, okay. It's because weight is of length 2 because of this, right? So I would need to remove a row from table. In Postgres, like, I just want to delete all those rows. Deleting rows in the table. Delete from, yeah. So I'm just gonna delete all of them. Delete from user info where UID is equal to 1. And this is a quote because it's, there you go. Let me update my user info. There you go. And now I should have 1. And now let's say I want to go to 83 kilograms. It prints out update user info set age equal to null. So wait, so what is my age here? Yeah, age is null, weight is 83. So now I could do db execute con query interp. So here my UID, it's setting it Well, yeah. So this should work. Let me save this. And let me source that file. Let me update my weight. So now if I select from 0, my weight is now 83. Here it says float 8. But since I now have the as character print query interp, it should not do that anymore. It should say, yep, it's in quotations because it knows that it's a character. Perfect. I do need to set my weight and my age as integers. So I'm gonna do this right now, right? So age is gonna be as integer, age, and weight is gonna be as integer weight. Just to have those safe parameters. If I do as integer null, what does it give me? Integer 0. Okay, I don't know how that's gonna respond, but let's try it out. We're in a testing environment, it doesn't really matter. Okay, yep, it still works. So if I set my weight back to 81, there you go, my weight is back to 81. Cool. So now I have my function that updates my user's info, and now I can implement this into my UI pretty easily. So here in my UI, I have like my main, and for now I'm just gonna put it on my main, right? So here in UI, on my main, below this button, I would add F7 text. Text, yeah, this would be a text input, right? So input ID, I'm gonna set it to, so this would be a number, I don't know, number int, let me look that up, shiny mobile number input. Shiny mobile. No, this is not shiny mobile. Where is the documentation for shiny mobile? Here it is. Numeric. So there's no input for a numeric. Number, digit, int. Nope, there's no input for. So I'm just gonna have to use the default numeric input. It's a numeric input, right? Or better yet, I could use select, F7 select, F7 select, right? My input would be the age, and my label would be age, and my choices, I'm gonna give 1 through 100. If I run this app, where's my shiny run app? Library shiny run app. There you go. Those are my settings. If I run the app, I'm gonna have my choices from 1 to 100. And if I go from my phone, let me just set here my host equal to 0.0.0.0.0 so that I can enter from any device in my home network. If I go to my computer's IP, on a phone it looks like this, right? So this, I think this is a fine way to choose the age. I think this is fine. And for weight, I think I would do the same for weight. Like, oops. I think I would do the exact same for weight. I don't know what the maximum I could set it to. I don't know in pounds how it works. How much is like 300 pounds? 136 kilos. Yes, so someone that's I don't know what a good upper limit would be. Maybe 400 pounds. I have no idea. I really don't. I don't measure my things in pounds. The weight and 1 through 400, I think is fine. Cool. So if I run my app, I look here again. I have my weight and I have my age, and I'm gonna have an F7 button, just like this one, where I'm gonna put update info, update metrics, let's call it. This is doing so. Update metrics, right? And now, if I go on if I open here my server, we make this 10 lines bigger, right? So that I can have more space. And let me make this 5 lines bigger, right? So I'm gonna add an observe event, right? Observe if user auth, right? If the user is authorized. So what do I want to do? I want to use my function update user info. I'm gonna pass in my connection as my connection, my weight as my weight, my age as my age, and my UID as user UID. Let me close this. This closes with this, and I would add a bind event to input update metrics, right? Which is the input I just put down there. So this should work. But before doing that, I would need to. So before doing that, I need the metrics in here to update to whatever the user's current weight and current age is. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna open my query here, and I'm gonna, let me just move this one to there you go, to make it organized. Fetch user info, right? So this will be a function of the connection and the UID. And what this would do, pretty easy, it's gonna it's gonna do the following. It's gonna table, so first it's gonna table con user info, right? I want to fetch user info. I'm gonna filter where UID is equal to UID. I want to collect this data. Again, I need to check if nrow of this would be of user data so if nrow of user data is equal to 0, right? Then I'm just gonna return a list for age, and I'm just gonna return a data frame, right? A data frame where UID is equal to UID, age is equal to 0, and weight is equal to 0. Right? That's fine. Yep, that's good. So if not, I want to return user data. Right? So now if I fetch user info, oh wait, I need a source r/query. So now if I fetch user info with my connection and my UID of 1, I'm going to get my data, right? Cool. So first let me update my user info so that my age is not NA. Let me set my age to 19 and my weight to 81. UID equals to 1. Con is equal to con. There you go. So let me fetch my data again. There you go. That makes sense now. Cool. So let me go back to my server. So now I need to do the following. Here I observe when the user gets auth, right? And here the info table is UID, username, unit. So this info table is not really this is not really the user info table. This is more of the user data, right? So just to make the little distinction that they are not the same thing, right? User info table, I don't use any L, there you go. So yeah, I think user data, that's, and then once the user gets authorized, right? So after all of this, because it is only if the user gets authorized, I want to fetch the user info. Cool. So if I fetch a user that doesn't have data yet, so if I fetch user info for UID 2, okay, wait, why is it showing me for UID 1? If let me save here, let me go to r/query, filter UID is equal to UID, wait, right here. Right here, filter UID is equal to UID. Yeah, so why does this return me source query.r fetch user info for 2? Why is this returning a different UID if it has this filter on? It should not return that data. So this UID has to be that UID, right? If I put in 1, it does work. If I put in 10, it should not work. It should return an empty data frame. No, I should return UID equals to UID, age 0, weight 0. Print user data right here. So for some reason it's fetching. This filter is not working. Because this UID is not equal. So do I need to set it as character? This UID need to be equal to as character UID for it to work. no, it still works without a problem. Even though it should not at all work. This is weird. Because I'm passing a UID. That's absolutely not right. Where UID is equal to 2 should bring me 0 rows. Let me restart my R session. Let me shiny run app. Port equal to 8080. Launch browser equals to false. Oh yeah, let me set working directory. Right. So now I have my con. So let me fetch my user info. Oh, let me first source r/query. And then fetch user info con for UID 10. Still brings up. So I have no idea why this filter is like just not being taken into account at all. Like this filter is just not working. I mean, it's just being ignored. I'm asking for the UID to be equal to the UID that the user passes on. If I print UID, UID equals 10. And 1 is not equal to 10. If I change this to not equal to, then it works. What? I am so confused. And I do filter UID is equal to 1. So let me put it here 1. If I put 2, yeah, so it does have to do with UID has to be equal to as character UID, right? Yeah, it does. Yes. User info filter where UID is. If I print user data before collecting, still returns for some reason, because table user info filter UIDs. So maybe it's interpreting this UID as the column. So if I put UID input, maybe it's because of that, right? Yep, that's definitely the issue. That's such a dumb issue. Yeah, that was such a dumb issue. It interpreted UID as the... That should not be a problem here, except right here. So I'm gonna do the same right here. UID input equal ask character UID. UID input. Okay, so that's a glitch. But now it should not be a problem. There you go. Cool. So now I have my fetch user input. I'm going a little bit over time, but doesn't matter. So right here, after the user gets authenticated, where is it here? Where is the user out here? After the user gets authenticated, I want user info to be equal to fetch user info for UID is equal to user UID, and my connection would be equal to my connection, right? Cool. And then I want yep, this is fine, right? So by default, user auth, this is so good. So I can have here another observe if the user is authenticated, because if he's not authenticated, there's not going to be any user info. Then I want F7 update. How is that? You update F7 select. The input ID would be age, right? I want selected to be equal now to user info age. And I want to do the same for wait. Wait, oops. And let me bind the event user info. So I want this to be dependent on user info. Cool. If I run the app, in theory, this should not break. I guess, maybe. So I set my age to 19 and my weight to 81. And I update my metrics. If I come and look at them right here for user ID 1, 1981. If I set my weight to 82 and then update, it's still 81. Did I ever update here? Update user info con weight. Oh, here it's not weight, it's input weight and input age. My bad. Okay, so if I log in, there you go. I'm logged in. Weight 19. Why? My weight is not 19. Ah, right. Wait. Dumb mistake. Wait. So now, once I log in, there you go. My age is 19 and my weight is 81. If I set it to 82, update metrics, it's 82 now. Perfect. And if I reload the page and log in again, it's 82 now. I can set my weight to 65, update, reload, log in again, it's 65 now. Perfect. So we have now set up our user info. Next time on Friday, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be implementing a way to update the exercises and start doing the workouts. So I think that's all for the stream today. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Today was a little bit rough. I had to relearn a little bit of DVI. I had forgotten, but I think we got getting this working is great. Cool. So thanks for watching. See you in the next stream.